have no suspicions he's in a world of hurt.
The president's son, according to this new reporting, was informed, hey, the Russian government has dirt on Hillary Clinton. And apparently the response to that was...
He was admitting that he had met with this Russian lawyer for the purpose of receiving information against Hillary Clinton. I thought, my God, this kid was dropped on his head. As a child, could he possibly be admitting this?
Pronounced stupid of Don Jr. I mean, I guess it runs in the family to go on Twitter when he is clearly in legal jeopardy.
This can't be dismissed as people out to get Donald J. Trump Jr. or fake news. This is evidence of willingness to commit collusion.
And we continue with Donald Trump Jr. What's your reaction to that? They're saying you're colluding. It's a 20-minute, your reaction.
Listen, I think politics is a dirty game. We've seen the sides that they take. We've seen the commentary they've had on my father. I think it's a little bit ridiculous and overplayed, and I think people are getting that. I think the media has really done themselves a disservice by picking sides so flagrantly. They've really driven people to actually have to think about it because it's just a tough game.
What about, did anyone on your team, I guess you have a staff of people that work for you, did anyone research the lawyer or anybody involved in this?
No, well, again, we didn't know who it was before the meeting.
You didn't know who the woman was, right?
No, we didn't know who she was before the meeting. Apparently she was a prosecutor in Moscow who hasn't done that since 2002. Mm-hmm. So, 14 years ago at the time of the meeting, she was a prosecutor. And it was such a nothing. I literally wouldn't have remembered the meeting, especially when you think about it in the grand scheme of all the things.
Out of the meeting?
What's that?
Were you annoyed based on?
It was a waste of time, but again, sometimes you do things differently for acquaintances and for friends.
Let me ask a hypothetical, and I hate hypothetical questions, but I think it's relevant in this case. Mm-hmm. If the meeting resulted in information that you felt in any way was illegal, mm-hmm. or compromising or collusion, to use the media's term,
I said it earlier, 100% I would bring it to the proper authorities. So there's nothing that I would do to ever endanger this country. I think the reason we fought so hard during this campaign, whether it was my father and the work that he put into it, whether it was the rest of our family and the efforts that we put into it, and you know those efforts well, it's because we'd do anything for this country. So we're never going to put that in jeopardy, ever.
So this, as far as you know, are all the emails that exist on this case, and you don't think there's any other one?
Legit, do not think there's anything else. We've scoured it thoroughly just to be sure, but there isn't anything else there.
All right, and there was no follow-up. I think this is important. No follow-up with any of them. Never heard from the woman again.
It was such a nothing. There was no reason to follow up. It was a waste of time.
All right. Did you learn about the adoption issue when you were there? Did that?
Well, again, I think I gave them a little bit of time as a courtesy, so I probably heard of whatever I heard in the room. But it's a big issue for a lot of people, I guess. But this wasn't a campaign talking point. This wasn't something we were, this was not something I was going to worry about at that stage. I mean, we had a lot of bigger fish to fry, and that's what I was focused on.
When we come back, I want to address the media coverage, the issue of the Ukrainian story that I brought up, and whether you think there's a double standard, and the treatment of your family by the media. We've got all the tape you'd ever want and much more. We'll continue with Don Jr. on the other side of this break. And when we come back, we'll ask him about the Trump family, how they feel about the daily attacks against their father and everybody else by the media. Also tonight, we get a legal opinion. Jay Sekulow will weigh in as well as we continue.